Guys, today there are three major things I need to talk with you about. First, the Bitcoin charts. Second, I am going to tell you and reveal something major regarding Grayscale and the ETFs. Something that a lot of people are not paying attention to, so do not let this catch you by surprise. Also, I am going to show you something crazy because funds are pouring millions of US dollars into Bitcoin right now. Hundreds of millions of dollars are being put into Bitcoin, and I will also reveal the reason why you are seeing this. In fact, you can see that the funds have actually had a record inflow since 2022, July of 2022. So it's been more than a year since we saw this much of volume from funds. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Chris, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. If you're new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. Let's start off with the Bitcoin chart here, and on the hourly time frame, not a lot has happened. You can see that we're consolidating. You can also see that we are forming a little bit of a pattern here, a trend line on the upper edge here, and then you also have on the lower edge, you do have potentially something like this. So let's see, this looks like it wants to go down. We do have the very important orange line right here at 27,185. So this is still somewhat holding up the Bitcoin price. However, this is on the 4-hourly time frame. Let's go to the 4-hourly, and on the 4-hourly, it's very clear that this orange line is holding up the Bitcoin price currently. So that is the situation for Bitcoin on the short term. However, it is looking pretty interesting for traditional markets as well, because you can see that traditional markets, we have pumped into the orange box right here, and we're actually approaching the edge of this orange box. And if we can clear this level, guys, that would instill a lot of confidence into the markets. Now, we do have some key data coming out actually today, which is going to drastically change the direction of whether we continue to the upside or whether we start to have a pullback down again. And the data that is going to come out is actually the PCE index coming out. And this is going to have a drastic effect on the markets. And for the data from the EU, you can see that the data that did actually came out was actually in line pretty much. It was in line with what the market believed, more or less at least. Inflation came in a little bit higher for the EU actually. But the main thing is going to be the data coming out of the US. So personal income month over month, personal spending, core PCE, and then you have the big ones tomorrow, non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate. So all of these two things during the today and tomorrow is going to have a massive effect on the direction of traditional markets, which will have a drastic effect on Bitcoin as well. Now, looking at traditional markets, you can also see that on the weekly time frame, we've been in this kind of channel moving up here. And look at the RSI, hitting it multiple times here on the lower end. And we did hit it here as well. And now we are seeing a little bit of a bounce here. Currently, as you have seen here recently or previously, we do see that bounce from the RSI level, and then we do have a bounce, and we continue to trend upwards within this channel actually. So that is pretty interesting to see. Let's see if this can continue to the upside. Next target is our previous swing high here at $4,600 on the traditional markets. Some other key things, guys, and a lot of people are not paying attention to this with Grayscale. So we do know that the judge ruled the reasons for denying the Grayscale ETF conversion was not valid. So it's looking somewhat likely that eventually Grayscale is going to be turned into an ETF. Now, a lot of people are celebrating this, of course, and I am as well. It is good for the long term, especially if this gets approved, then other ETFs are surely going to get approved as well. But there's one immediate thing we need to pay attention to, and that is that the final deadline for this is in 45 days, which also concludes about the same time as the second deadline for these ETFs. So the dates are lining up for the SEC to approve all of the ETFs and Grayscale as well at the same time. Now, if that were to happen, you do have actually one major whale wanting to sell $500 million worth of Bitcoin. Because if you do see Grayscale being approved for an ETF, then people are going to be able to actually get their Bitcoin and sell those. And we know that FTX has over $500 million worth of GBTC in Grayscale. So if that were to be converted into an ETF, we know that FTX are looking to sell all of their crypto assets and pay out the creditors in fiat money. So we do have that $500 million worth of selling pressure if that ETF gets approved from Grayscale. And this is also what's being reported today. If Grayscale sees that victory over the SEC, that may render Alameda's redemption lawsuit unnecessary, because yes, there is a lawsuit right now between the Grayscale trust and Alameda, because Alameda wants to get their Bitcoin that they put into the trust. Now, if it gets converted, they do not have to have this lawsuit. They can just sell their Bitcoin shares. That would put a lot of selling pressure into the Bitcoin market, guys. $500 million. That is significant, but hey, that is the reality of the situation. On the other hand, this is very, very bullish. When you saw that SEC and the lawsuit news come out, you saw almost a record inflow of money volume from institutions. Look at this. This is over $400 million worth of volume from institutions, which may not seem like a lot, but still, these are regulated entities. So of course, this gives a clear direction about where the big money things, where they are putting their money basically, because they believe that ETFs are going to be approved and they believe that it's going to be massively bullish. In fact, if you look at the analysts, they have, Bloomberg analyst says that there's a 75% chance of an ETF approval even this year. So that is huge. And also, Bernstein has said that the victory from the from Grayscale against the SEC clears the path for spot Bitcoin ETFs. So the funds are looking at this and they're saying, we're gonna see an ETF for Bitcoin very soon, and they are putting a lot of their money into Bitcoin here to be prepared for that. Guys, this is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.